Apparently today there's a transit strike too. It's mostly affecting things like the C bus, but who knows? If it carries on, I guess a lot of the other things could go on strike as well. I was reading this today, which was kind of interesting because of all the hype around the Mavic Mini. As you guys know, since it's 249 grams, people say you should be able to avoid things like federal regulations in a lot of places. For example, not having to register your drones and all that, and flying it wherever you wish for the most part, as long as you're safe, as they say. But in general, it doesn't seem like it's as clear-cut as you may think, and everyone's kind of debating, hey, can you actually fly this in your place or not, etc., etc. As well, the other thought is, since this thing is 1 gram under the weight limit, so to speak, in order for you to bypass the regulations, are regulators going to say, okay, now we're going to have to adjust it to make this one basically abide by the current regulations and all. So it's kind of actually interesting reading with the FAA, with the US laws, because apparently they released a video just to clarify about the regulations. Coincidentally, I guess you could say, right after the Mavic Mini release, so it makes you wonder if it was the direct response to it. So I guess in the US, they have their own Twitter accounts and they have someone actually making videos and updating their social media to inform people about regulations and stuff related to aviation, I suppose. It says here, all Part 107 operators must register their drone regardless of weight. Recreational flyers operating under the exemption for limited recreational ops must register if their drone weighs 0.55 pounds or 250 grams or more. And as well, they even made a video of it, so you can actually see it here. It's pretty quick.
Hi, I'm Kevin Morris, the FAA Drone Guide. Recent news stories about drones and registration may be confusing to some drone pilots and operators. As technology evolves, the capabilities of drones increase and their weight decreases. While this is exciting to see, please remember that all drones flown under Part 107, regardless of weight, need to be registered. Only those drones flown under the exception for limited recreational operations and weighing less than 0.55 pounds or 250 grams do not require registration. For more information, visit our website at faa.gov/UAS and fly safe.
So it sounds like in the US, they're still going to be heavily restricted because if I'm not mistaken from what they said here, it's regardless of the weight, you have to abide by these regulations, so to speak. I was trying to read some of the documentations, like this one here. It says, the aircraft is flown strictly for recreational purposes. Any use of an aircraft for commercial purposes must be conducted under Part 107 or applicable FAA regulations. So that basically means even if you use technically a 1 gram drone, for example, for quote commercial purposes, you still have to register it and everything. So you have to go through all that examination as well, just for, again, literally 1 gram. As well, there's things like saying the aircraft is flown within visual line of sight of the person operating the aircraft or a visual observer co-located and in direct communication with the operator. This means that either the recreational flyer or visual observer must have eyes on the aircraft at all times to ensure it's not a collision hazard to other aircraft or people on the ground. So this wasn't a change in any way, it's essentially just clarifying, I suppose, like they're saying, there's still regulations you have to follow in terms of a drone, even if it's under 250 grams. If you do it commercially, you still have to register and I guess do all that tests and all that. So I guess it's not as great, so to speak, for people in particular countries, as mentioned before, even though that's what they advertise in a lot of the material. Like it's under 250 grams and you can avoid a lot of the regulations. Because just from general reactions online, it seems like a lot of people who want to get this are videographers, like people who do it for a business and all that. Like they just want to have something, I suppose, easy to capture the aerial image without actually having to buy thousands of dollars worth of drone equipment. So technically you can't do that unless, like they say, you do it purely for recreation, which is a little bit of a grayscale, I guess, because how do you define commercial for a lot of these guys? For example, I know one of the debates here is people said, if you make 1 cent, you're commercial. I know one of the jokes that I read before, if that's the case, everyone should just write off their drones on their tax returns, if that's technically like a business to own that stuff. It does make you wonder though whether or not there's going to be countries that are going to change regulations specifically because of this. Overall, for people who could do it, I guess, in their countries, like here in Canada, technically there shouldn't be a restriction, just be safe. I guess do it while it lasts. Basically get your images and your videos and all that, why not? I still regret it before, like when I was flying a drone, people are saying, oh, you can't fly it here, you can't fly it there. It didn't end up being true. Essentially, there was no regulations at first, and I could have got so much at that time. And the other thing I read today was kind of off the wall. How's this? I guess it's rich people problems, huh? It says, waiter spills red wine, ruining Hermes bag. Woman sues for 30 G's. That's $30,000. Marana Bader of New Jersey is suing a country club waiter for $30,000 US because her pink luxury Hermes bag was ruined after one of the waiters allegedly spilled red wine on it. Whoever the waiter was proceeded to pour red wine and didn't stop, Alexandra Errico, Bader's attorney said. Errico added the waiter poured it all over her, poured it all over her husband, and poured it all over a very expensive Hermes bag. According to the lawsuit, the alleged incident occurred on September 7, 2018, and Bader is said to have tried to handle the issue directly with the club. It's sort of like a rich person's problem, Errico said, saying the club stopped responding to Bader and that even the insurance company appeared to dismiss the incident. Why did they basically say like, yeah, we're not going to deal with it? Like says, quote, they, the insurance company, couldn't comprehend that a bag could be that much. I think that was the biggest problem with that. They kind of discriminated against her that she actually owned that type of bag. How can a bag cost that much money? I mean, even this says they could range from like $10,000, and one of the most expensive one was sold in an auction for $370,000. Wow, you can buy like what, like a home or something like that for that price? And it says she's not only suing the waiter, but also the country club for, quote, negligent hiring. Man, when you have the money and stuff like that, I guess every opportunity is there for you, I suppose, even if it is for situations like this, huh? Nice alert stance. That's an alert, like I see a dog. That's cool. You can see how alert they get when they see like a dog or something huge. They think it's a threat. All right, see you guys later.